An army, they say, marches on its stomach, but truly it marches on its feet. For WWII soldiers, their feet were their lifeline, carrying them through frozen mud, scorching sands and dense jungles. Every step was a battle. Boots chafed, mud sucked, and blisters threatened to sideline even the toughest men. A single blister could mean infection, trench foot, or worse, removal from the fight. Commanders knew a soldier who couldn't march was a soldier who couldn't fight. Foot care became strict doctrine, drilled into every recruit as seriously as marksmanship. Veterans passed down hard-won secrets, how to make crude boots work, how to keep moving through pain. Comfort was a luxury. Survival depended on function and endurance. These lessons, born of necessity, became a testament to human resilience. The story of WWII's marching soldiers is not just about battles, but about the simple, ingenious ways they kept going. Their feet were their most vital equipment, and their survival depended on every step. The wisdom they forged endures, a legacy of adaptation and grit. In the end, it was the care of their feet that often decided who made it to the next horizon. The unsung heroes of the march were not just the men, but their battered, determined feet. The WWII service boot was built for war, not comfort. Heavy leather, hard soles, and no padding. Early designs with leather soles wore out fast and slipped dangerously in wet or icy conditions. The war-forced innovation rubber soles replaced leather, offering better grip and durability. But these new soles were stiff and unforgiving, transferring every shock to the foot. The boot's job was to protect, not pamper. Comfort was the soldier's problem to solve. Soldiers had to adapt, learning to manage the pain and prevent injury. The stiff heel counter rubbed raw, the rigid sole punished every step, and the leather trapped sweat. The service shoe was a tool, one that demanded skill and constant attention. Soldiers became experts in taming their boots, sharing tricks and hacks to survive the march. The boot was only half the equation. What went inside mattered just as much. Through trial and error, soldiers learned to work with their gear, not against it. The result, a partnership between man and boot, forged in hardship. The service shoe was a test of endurance, and only those who mastered it could keep moving. In war, even the smallest detail, like a boot, could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The first defense against brutal boots? Socks, layered, not just worn. Soldiers used a thin inner sock and a thick wool outer sock, shifting friction between fabrics, not skin. This simple trick prevented blisters and kept feet healthier on endless marches. Wool's magic. It absorbed sweat, keeping feet drier and less prone to injury. Discipline was key. Soldiers changed socks at every chance, drying wet pairs on their packs. This constant rotation kept feet dry and functional, as vital as cleaning a rifle. The two-sock system was a low-tech solution to a high-stakes problem. It saved countless feet and kept soldiers in the fight. Sometimes survival is all about the simplest habits. New boots were agony, stiff, unyielding, and ready to wound. Breaking them in was a painful ritual. Wear them everywhere. Let the leather slowly mould to your feet. Some soldiers soaked boots and wore them wet, forcing a custom fit as they dried. Oils and saddle soap softened and waterproofed the leather, making it more forgiving. Dubbin, a thick wax, was rubbed into every seam to keep water out and leather supple. This maintenance was constant, Clean, grease, repeat, especially in wet climates. Neglect meant cracked leather and ruined boots. Care meant survival. A well-broken-in, well-proof boot became a trusted partner, not just a piece of kit. The bond between soldier and boot was forged in sweat, pain, and discipline. In war, even the smallest ritual could mean the difference between marching on or falling behind. Foot care was sacred. More than hygiene, it was survival. After every march, boots and socks came off, feet aired and cleaned, no matter how tired the soldier. Washing, drying, and inspecting feet for blisters or cuts was a daily ritual. Medicated foot powder was a soldier's best friend, absorbing moisture and fighting infection. NCOs enforced strict inspections. Neglect meant punishment, but also risked the whole unit. Prevention was everything. One case of trench foot could cripple a squad. This discipline kept men marching when others fell. Clean, dry feet were a weapon, one that could decide the outcome of a battle. In the calculus of war, foot hygiene was as vital as any weapon. The soldier's shield against an invisible enemy was simple, relentless care. The battlefield demanded improvisation. Standard kit was never enough. In the wet, soldiers punched drainage holes in boots to let water out, not just keep it out. In freezing cold, they stuffed boots with cloth, straw, or even sandbags for insulation. Makeshift crampons, wire or rope wrapped around boots, gave traction on ice. These hacks weren't in manuals, they were born of necessity and shared in whispers. Adaptation was survival. Soldiers turned whatever they had into solutions. Ingenuity kept them moving when conditions turned brutal. In war, the cleverest fix could save your feet and your life. Today's boots are high-tech, but WWII's foot care wisdom still matters. Hikers and soldiers alike rely on the two-sock system, daily foot checks, and breaking in boots before big journeys. Modern waterproofing echoes the old Dublin ritual, gear changes, but the principles endure. The greatest lesson: your feet are your foundation. Care for them before trouble starts, adapt your gear to the challenge. Survival is in the details: discipline, ingenuity, and relentless attention. The echoes of those long marches remind us the best survival tool is a resilient, well-cared-for body. From the battlefields to the backcountry, the wisdom of the march endures.